Hey everybody, we're going to be getting started here pretty soon. Hope everybody's doing good today. There's quite a few, a lot more than last week. What did we have, like 5 pages last week? There are, there's almost double that now, so. Alright, brother's back, so he can make sure that I don't break anything. So let's go ahead and turn the screen on. It's full screen, right? Right?
Top one.
Top one. Of course, I still messed that up. Alrighty. Alright, so yeah, there's 9 pages of this these animals today. So I want to go ahead and get started. I think we might have missed. I know we're watching one kind of get going here right now. It just keeps getting batted back and forth. Refreshed with 5-minute bids. So that would be this butter quad het. That's a lot. It's a lot of power for a female, so if you can't decide what direction you want to go, or if you want to go multiple directions, this would be very nice. So anytime you have something like this in a female, it's really cool because you can, I mean, obviously you can go for these quad hats and whatnot, but let's be realistic, that's kind of hard, right? But what it does do is it allows you to take a lot of chances and a lot of swings at hitting, well, a lot of different combos, and you can put different males to it, so their usefulness stays for quite some time. Butter, by the way, is the same exact thing as lesser. I've always thought that butter is a better name, even though lesser is the more popular one. I mean, like, no disrespect to the name lesser, but it literally means it's lesser, right? It's less than. Anyway, just a personal gripe there, but they're very cool what they do. Very unique. There's not much that does what it does. It's also in the blue-eyed leucistics, so that is worth mentioning. So don't put something with blue-eyed leucistics to this unless you want an all-white snake that also happens to be hiding some recessives. So yeah, you can see this thing keeps getting reset with these little 5-minute, these $5 bids. Yeah, this one would be pretty nice. I mean, just in terms of being able to work these different recessives. There's a lot of different ways you could go here. Kiki's, which is the clown, G-stripes, obviously the Xanthics. Hypo is always good. All of these would work well together regardless. So, God forbid you actually hit a quad het. That would be insane. But yeah, this one's still going. Kind of just trying to keep an eye on it. It's the first one that ended, so and of course the next one I had ended already. We're going to talk about it anyways because it is a Confusion Enchi Het Clown Het VPI Xanthic, and a couple of them there from the last one, the Het Clown and the Het VPI Xanthic. Well, we won't talk about it too long because obviously it's already been sold, but I wanted to talk about the Confusion when it comes to the clown gene and just what it can do. I believe this one ended at a pretty favorable price, especially since it's going and this was supposed to end before or after this one. I have them all kind of in order here, so I'm pretty sure someone got a good deal here. In a female at that, so whenever I see Confusion with clown, the potential to do that, this is what I'm thinking right here. How awesome they are, and there's like nothing that does this sort of stuff for the belly than Confusion, really. It is insane. This is the sort of stuff you see with Hognoses. You know, most of the time when you think about bellies on ball pythons, you don't think anything of it. But this is one where it adds a whole new layer to the bottom part of the snake in terms of how cool it is. And that's just the belly. I mean, honestly, it does a whole bunch with the pattern. I personally think it does even more than leopard, and it doesn't just overtake leopard. It layers with leopard really, really nice. So, picture perfect. If I could say your name right, getting tongue-tied. Picture Perfect Pythons. How are you? Alrighty. This one I thought was really cool too. Jesus. Okay, when's the next one? There. I kind of jumped ahead, but ended again. So again, we won't talk about it too long. But I wish I had jumped on just a little earlier. But this one, basically, you're just one shy right here of the Pompeii. And again, this kind of shows you what these animals are going for on here. Which right now I'm thinking that this is a good deal day because these are ending right now, and I'm not seeing a crazy amount of bids. The idea that this is just one shy of the Pompeii, which is black pastel, by the way, that's all you need. So you could work a lot of different things to there, but if you wanted to work the Pompeii, you would just get a black pastel clown to put that to, and that's not expensive. And then you start taking chances at hitting that. But yeah, this was something that was available as of just moments ago. So we're gonna get to the one now that is available still. Let's take a quick look at our butter here still. Oh, we got a minute left. Maybe we can actually watch it. That does end before our next one, so we'll talk about this one here in a bit. I just want to see if we can see where this ends, and if obviously people can bid on this. If you're watching right now, that'd be kind of cool to watch an active bidder. But okay, there it goes. It went from like 1 minute and some seconds down to below a minute. But yeah, I mean, this is a really good deal for a female at that. Just what you can do, if you're wanting to work any of these jeans here, I'd say at least a double head if you've got a couple of those in there. Being a female, that is nice price. That's a nice price for this. So, yeah, 30 seconds left. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna refresh it just to see. Sometimes it might not add. Oh, this might be it. But you can watch one, just kind of what they're ending at. Unless someone comes and snipes it at the last second. I'm not waiting another 5 minutes if that happens, so. What's up, Macamorph? Alright, 10 seconds left. No, I'm not counting it down. Alrighty, and we'll refresh it once it hits here. No, I don't necessarily like showing. I think that there is some sort of privacy for the the bidder and the buyer, but I mean, it is interesting, and you can just watch it yourself. I mean, you saw it right there. It ended at 155 for this girl here, which is it's just well worth it. So, very cool deals. It looks like you can have on Morphmarket today. So, all right, jump right back into here now with our next one here, ending in 3 minutes. Let's see here. See if any questions. Would you pair with butters? Sterling too. You're on a 15-second lag, it seems. Can you hear it? Can you hear a lag? If you can hear hear us twice, please let us know. We can try to fix that. But in the meantime,
it's video instant to me, but I guess we're in the same room, so
yeah. So, so a butter sterling. That would be a basically like a lesser cinnamon pastel, right? Well, there's a lot of different directions you could go. Good, this pied keeps coming up. I just want to make sure that we're not going to miss anything coming up here that we're looking at. All right, yeah, we're good. All right, we'll keep an eye on this one here, and then we'll start talking about this right here. But you know what? Actually, since it's 5 minutes, let's talk about this, and then I will get to that. I will get to your question, I promise. But I don't want to miss out on this because there's a lot of chances here to do some crazy stuff. Being a pied het sunset male, as you can see, there's some interest here. We already got up to $600, but here's the caveat: there's a double het sunset pied girl, same breeder, so you could theoretically get both of these and have them shipped for the same shipping. Save yourself $75 there. And you could be making pied sunsets. The male, being a visual pied at least, definitely helps. So you're only going head to head on sunset, which is something that you can send into RGI for a shed test, which is really nice. So you can determine any babies that you didn't hit on, if there's het sunset at least. And it's definitely worth doing that for sure. I certainly think that in most cases it would be ideal to get both of these, because good luck getting a pied sunset, for a reasonable price. So why not just make one yourself? Your chances are decent if you get both of these animals. Of course, remember, they're babies. 101 grams here, 109 grams here. They'll be about 3 years, if the law of averages plays out. But this would be kind of crazy. I hope I hope someone gets both of these, quite frankly. But even if you just get one or the other, they're definitely ideally suited for the Sunset Pied project. So okay, so back to your question with butter sterling. So that would be the pastel. So cinnamon is a really interesting one. I really like cinnamon. I have cinnamon in a puzzle right now, but the pastel it mostly works good with it, especially when they're young. But I feel like it kind of fades a little bit. I have, like I said, I have a pastel or a sterling puzzle here right now. She ages really well. She aged pretty well. I would actually go for something a little bit more in the dark combos. So let me see here. Cinnamon. Does it have? If it had any hets, of course, for a recessive, you definitely want to work those. But I'm thinking mahogany or blackhead, something that would kind of show off a lot of these cool darks and whatnot. So I'm trying to load one up here for you. So there we go. For a simple combo, a cinnamon mahogany or mahogany. Mahogany, I'm just all sorts of tongue-tied today. I think that they suit each other quite well because it's a dark snake, but it kind of just fades up with this cool little like chainsaw pattern going back through it. So for a simple combo, that's just comes off right at the top of my head. I ideally, obviously, I want to start working some other crazy combos into there though with recessives. That's just kind of how my mind works. But it's just a simple combo. That's the way to go. So okay. I promise I'll keep getting to the questions here. But yeah, we'll come back to these, so at least we'll try to. Just definitely interested to see. They're still climbing. It looks like people are chipping away on it with little $5 bids. So, what I honestly recommend doing if you're bidding, don't do the $5 bid, because if someone else is interested, do the $5 bid at first. But if you see someone going back and forth, I mean, what's $5 versus $25? Because if you do 5 minutes, each 5 minutes or so, if you just keep going back and forth playing tennis with each other, drop $25 down. Just shoot this thing up $25. It shows you're a little more serious, and maybe another bidder would just be like, okay, I'm not going to be able to snipe this one. And you kind of chase them off. In the end, you spend less money and you spend far less time just going back and forth. That's my recommendation. But hey, you do you. It just feels like some of these just get $5 each time. So, but I wanted to show off what a Pied Sunset looks like, and I think they're great. I think they're absolutely great. You can kind of see one here. From guess what? I didn't even know this when I loaded it. That's the same breeder. Bomb City Balls. I just typed Sunset Pied, and that just happened. I just did this beforehand. That is so cool. So this is the quality you're getting to make yourself if you get these. Really nice, and in Sunset has always been told, oh, it browns out. But with Pied and in other combos, I feel like it lightens up a bit, and it really holds this nice, cool color. The Pied always kind of brings in a little more tingy oranges and stuff, so I think it's really nice. But this is the sort of stuff you're flirting with and possibly making. Right here from these two snakes, and the irony there being that that this is the same breeder. So she wanted to show here, is that the parents? So it came from a Pied Sunset. So obviously that's how you know it is 100%. So it's its whole clutch. So they definitely hit some sunsets there. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Yeah, if you want to work Sunset, this is an opportunity. Because it's not just Sunset, it's Sunset Pied. And they're a lot more than this, I can guarantee you. So, okay, yeah, we'll talk about that one here in a second. And it's crazy price and why it's worth it. So, I'm going to go ahead and go through our chat here real quick. Thanks a lot for the content. I just got back in after 10 years, just because of how affordable good projects are right now, from Chris Cherry. Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of different reasons for that. I feel like at the beginning of the year, things started to go up again. We had a crazy good beginning of the year, just from a monetary point of view. But anytime it's an election year, I worked retail for a very long time, and now I work in a different industry. But it's related to, with like sales and stuff like that. And I can tell you, anytime there's an election year, that is that's the sort of crazy stuff that happens. Is nobody wants to spend their money. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. So right, and take advantage of it. Take advantage of it right now, because you can definitely get some of these nice looking stuff. Before, you just have to you'd spend a decent amount of money in just making single gene combos, but now it's a lot different. You can spend a healthy amount, but still still make some really awesome things on a budget. I think that's ideal personally. I really like it. So the pied het and the double het are not bid on by the same person. Oh, from these two. Maybe they're not even interested. I suspect that someone might be interested. You can kind of look at it here. It kind of gives you a hint. If they're tied. I don't see anybody that's the same. Okay. Well, I mean, there's definite uses for both of them. But yeah, it's these two going back and forth with each other on the double het. All right. Love the banana clown clutch. Oh, the one we just did. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. I love them too. Trust me. I'm pairing my male bamboo clown. Oh, bamboo clowns are so underrated. I don't understand why people don't work them more often. They're so gorgeous. And I love bamboo, so maybe I'm a little biased, but and the sunset clowns. What would sunset clown do? We can show that off here in a bit. Sunset clown is also a really nice one. It's absolutely incredible. That's why I think sunset pairs well with other genes. By itself, it's sure, some of them can brown out, no doubt, but yeah. What the heck is this? I have to actually click on this. Crazy paradox with sunset. That's cool as heck.
I want to zoom in on that.
Yeah, unrelated, but I don't know if I can. Here, we'll do that. So, look at that paradoxing. That is one of the most unique animals I've ever seen. It's pied, it's sunset, it's desert ghost. It doesn't know what it is. That's cool. That's really cool. Alright, I can look up a sunset clown here, though, for you. Doesn't take that long. Oh, it's going to load a whole video. That's okay. There you are. This is from Canova. That is a spot nose. Why is it? There we go. Alrighty. So here's some sunset clowns here, so you can really see a nice representation of a lot from one of the best in the world. It's a leopard sunset clown. What, a desert ghost sunset? Oh yeah, the desert ghost sunsets. They kind of. I remember when I first made the Desert Ghost Sunsets, a lot of people were disappointed, but I think they aged incredibly well. So, did you see how it lightens up quite a bit? Definitely a lot more ideal than the browner ones that kind of just like fade into a dingy brown. So, like I said, I think Sunset pairs quite well. So, alrighty. Alright, we're going to go ahead and move along, and we'll get back to the questions here in a bit, but that's because I really want to talk about this super blackhead clown. Let's see if these are done yet. Oh, they are? Okay. They would have ended around that oops, wrong one. This one's still going, but this one ended around the 600 mark. 650-ish or so, I'd have to guess, for this boy here. So, honestly, a really ideal deal for somebody there. We'll go back to this one, but I want to talk about this super blackhead clown. I love blackhead, and I'll tell you that a billion times. This one here is insane. So much going on here with like I said, this almost like an off-white, like a gray white. It's not quite stark white, like if you see in some of the Xanthic combos. And I actually like that here. I really like that because it bleeds in right when it hits half of the snake. You hit the pattern and you have this nice golden like coloring here, this nice golden pattern, which has been reduced quite a bit. Again, to these kind of like, I don't even know how to describe this, like a chainsaw-ish type look to it. And then immediately on the other side of it, you have this nice grayish brown coming in. The head, completely that color, all pattern just completely wiped out from it. And there's a lot of power in this animal because, for one, everything's going to be passing on one copy of the clown gene. Ideally, you're breeding a visual clown male to this anyways, so you're always going to get clowns. And that means, since it's super blackhead, you're always going to get blackhead clowns. A whole ton of pattern, or a whole ton of potential, and yeah, a whole ton of awesome busy pattern going along the animal here. There's so much contrast from a completely different color palettes to the pattern. Just so much going on here that's so cool. The only thing downside here is that there's a reserve price, which I totally understand. But it means that somebody in the next 6 minutes needs to beat that reserve price, or, well, this ends. So ideally, someone will, if they're comfortable at, say, $2,000, maybe you climb this up $25, $50 a piece, because it'll always reset here, and you get to that $2,000 mark and see if it goes away. If it doesn't, and you're not comfortable spending any more, well, no harm, no foul. The auction will end, and that's it. It'll just kind of void itself out. So, still kind of jumping back and keeping an eye on this one. So, just absolutely awesome. So, let's see here. Gonna move along here because this one's ending in 3 minutes. I don't want to lose anything, so I will get back to questions, I promise. But I don't want these are kind of just coming at us really quick, so I want to make sure I don't miss any. Just in case, honestly, somebody watching wants to bid on it. I mean, jump there and check it out. But yes, this would be this black pastel scaleless head mahogany het pied. Just honestly, there's a lot of people who say they like the Sumapides, and there's a lot of people who say they like the Pandapides. Well, there you go. You can do both if you put that together with another one. Now, the Sumapides don't have the issues with the kinking and whatnot, and quite frankly, I like them a lot more because they have more pattern, and I like the chaos. In terms of the color, there's a richer color palette in my opinion, and they kind of almost all look just a little bit paradoxy. Scaleless head is just, well, it's got that missing scale on its nose. You can kind of see it right there. Let's see if there's a better picture here. It's got missing scales near the front of its head. Basically, it's covering its head there. But that's, a lot of people don't want to work that project anymore because they don't want to make the super scaleless, because it's a different care requirement for sure. And don't kid yourself, it is a different care requirement. But these look cool in general. Honestly, if you want to create the black pastel mahogany pieds, that's awesome. They are very, very cool. And there's different directions you can go in this sort of stuff too. Like I said, you could get a mahogany pied male to put to this girl here, and you could go for Sumas. The black pastel might come along, so then for you get the mahogany black pastel. I mean, you're not missing here. You're really not missing. You're gonna hit so much cool stuff. That's the way I'd go about it. I'd get a mahogany pied male to save some money, and then kind of go for mahogany black pastel pieds and well, Suma pieds. That would be really cool. And there'd probably be a lot of other genes that I'd want to come along for the ride as well. Well, like the previously mentioned blackhead, that'd be cool. So, all right, we do a very huge jump up in time here. So now I can look at some questions. Alrighty. Okay, from Macomorph, I have a black pastel bamboo clown going to I already read that one, but that is cool though. That should make some awesome stuff. Candy clown combos haven't been worked a bunch. Just saw 2 at a local expo. One hypo, and one was Leo Candy Clown. Blew me away. I completely agree. Candy is a really overlooked gene. Everybody talks about Lavender instead with the Dreamsicles, and don't get me wrong, I think that one is great. But the candy clowns or candy in general is just an incredible gene. We make a lot of the Candino pieds and such like that, and I really like them, the lavenders that those bring in instead of the whites, because albino pieds, there's some kind of there's a lot of variety, right? Some of them kind of bleed into each other, so as they age, they become more of a two-tone yellow. Whereas if the candy or the Candino bleeds, it's a lavender still, which I really like a lot more. So, Canova has incredible snakes. You ain't kidding, brother. My Morphmarket, it's just Rhinos Royals if you look it up, but I need to update it badly. I only have like a few snakes on there right now, and I have a lot more, quite frankly. I just don't put everything on there because I kind of like selling them at the shows that we do. I really like that sort of environment, but some of the more expensive ones we will put on there, and I do owe that an update. I say it a lot and I've said it a lot, but I do owe that an update, that's for sure. And we have a lot, so a lot of those, if you look at our egg cutting, the banana clutch, a lot of those are going to go up on our Morphmarket. I have some Monarch het pieds, some double hets that I'm going to release. So those will go up there here. So I'd say in the next week or two that we're going to be adding a considerable amount, because I want to try to get them before the holiday here, which we really only have a week or 2 months or so, or not 2 months, I'm sorry, about a month at this point, before everything starts going nutty with the holiday. I don't ship at the holiday time. FedEx is way too overwhelmed, and I'm too scared. My primary objective is to obviously sell animals to people and whatnot, but the actual primary objective is to make sure that they're healthy and that they arrive safe. And if I ship them at holiday time, it's nutty that time. So let's go ahead and take a look. It looks like this one did end, so around that 300-ish, 50-ish mark probably. Oh, this one's probably not going to make it. Probably will not make the reserve. You should watch that live, kind of what that happens there. So it just says ended, right? We hit refresh here. Boom. Shows you how much he's listed it for, right? So very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And this is a cool animal. This is an incredible animal. I don't know what that reserve price would have been, but I suspect obviously, they're going to put it where at their bottom line that they don't want to let it go at. So, it's not a bad idea, hosting it local. Let's see. How was the show? It was all right. I say, I was surprised their Sunday was busier than our Saturday. Wouldn't you say, Johnny?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just that doesn't happen quite often. So, but we definitely made out well. So, I really like these next couple months, like Halloween up until once we hit the beginning of the year, those are really busy. So, and we've got their Halloween show coming up here, and then our 2 of them in November, one in a different city or nearby city. So, let's see. A small thing I check. Big Sterling is Super Pastel. Yeah, you're right. Super Pastel. So no matter what, the only thing is that you're always going to pass a piece of You're only going to pass one copy of Pastel. So just consider that. I probably wouldn't continue to work Pastel into that project if you wanted to go the direction I gave, anyways. So, all right. All right, yep, we talked about this one here. It's got a couple minutes left. This is a steal, in my opinion, at 105. Like I said, if you want to work either one of these projects, that's a very good deal. Just ignore the scaleless head if that's not your calling. With that said, I'm not encouraging the creation of scaleless ball pythons unless you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, and if you just understand that, just pretend it's not a ball python anymore. It has a completely different care regimen. I don't see the issue. It's not like they're sick. It's not like they have issues in terms of, other such things. It's just that they have shedding concerns. You need to make sure that you're taking care of their shed. And I'm telling you right now, they look cool as heck. In fact, we're going to show one off later. But just don't do it just on a whim. Don't create scaleless heads on a whim. Don't buy scaleless heads on a, or sorry, super scaleless, I should say, not just the scaleless head. I want to reiterate that it's not the scaleless that I'm talking about, it's the super scaleless. Don't just buy it on a whim. Do your research and realize it's a completely different care regimen, and then go for it. Honestly, I don't see the deal, so long as you understand that and provide the different and a little more complex care. So, all right, we're gonna move to this next one here. We'll kind of peek back at that other one here though. This would be another quad het, I believe from the same breeder as before. Yep, Bomb City Balls. That would be a VPI Exanthic Clown, Hypo, Genetic Stripe, and Pastel. They don't have it listed in the traits, but yeah, that's definitely a Pastel, no doubt. And quite some size to it too. So same thing goes with the other one that we talked about with being a quad het. A lot of different directions you could go here. Not for everybody, obviously. It's very difficult if you get another, let's just say you get another quad het male. It's going to be very difficult to hit all those genes. But the benefit there is that you have a lot of chances to hit a lot of different genes. It's very unlikely you're going to be creating any normals from this. So that is something to think about. Now, I would definitely get some visuals in there for sure. That would be very nice to have a little more guarantee, but still, on a budget for what this price is showing right now, $85, that's pretty nice. Oh, reset. Somebody bid, so it goes back up to 5 minutes. So, this one I definitely wanted to show off, this het paint group. Paint is an awesome gene. It does a lot, so I'm just gonna skip to what it does. So let's look at the paint gene. Paint kind of smudges it up, creates a lot of these well, it looks chaotic. It's controlled chaos though. Very nice. This is super paint. I think this is a while back. It's now a recessive, so that's probably just a het right there. You can kind of see here that like all of this just granulation, but it's more than that. It's not, granulation, you get that in things like GHI, stuff like that, but you have this smudging. It's just like someone took an eraser and just kind of just haphazardly tried to erase it, and just kind of creates this cool smudging. There's a lot of cool things you can do with that. So here's a paint calico right here. Like I was saying, I think it was last week. Calico is kind of hit or miss for me, whether I like it or not. I like it here. That is super cool. Let me try to zoom in on this a little bit so that y'all can see it. Very cool. Very unique. Rusty color there, with almost like two different patterns, like a ghostly pattern that's been blown away, sandblasted away, and then you get the dorsal pattern, which is far more vibrant. Lots of contrast here because you have contrast in colors, you have contrast in patterns, you have a blasted out pattern, you have a more solid pattern. Very cool. Very cool, but that's the sort of stuff you're thinking about when you get paint. And this group here is actually very ideally placed in terms of most groups I see anyways. And that would be a banana male. So he's always going to pass 50% of the time, at least, pass on that banana gene. He's very likely a male maker. It doesn't say one way or the other, though. And then you have 3 het paints. So, again, not for every single person, and there is a reserve price on this. But there's a lot of chances here to hit it. I would immediately try to get this and try to secure a visual paint. But if that's not in the budget, this is well priced right now. Depending on what that reserve price ends at, the shipping's free. So do the same strategy I said before. Kind of bid to where you're comfortable, but don't start there. Let's just say you're willing to bid $500. Just as an example, I have no idea what this is going to end at. I don't know if it's more or less. I don't know. But if you're comfortable bidding $500 on this, don't type 500 in, for God's sakes, because it's going to go right up to $500, and you will feel like very silly and spend a little more than you may have had to. So bid it in increments. So 20, $25, 20, until you get to the point where the reserve drops off, or if it doesn't drop off, let it end, or let someone else try for it. So, all right, let's look back at our chat here a little bit. Oh, I appreciate that, Heather. Thanks. Pieds have taken hits on price lately. In general, everything a little bit, I think, has. And if anything, prices on most stuff, I think, is holding steady because I think most people understand that we're just entering that time of the year, and every 4 years that happens, and nobody wants to spend money. So, yeah, it's just the fact of the matter. Once it's over, everyone will realize, like, oh, okay, no matter what happens, people will spend money again. So, can paint change the color, or is it just influence the stripe? Well, yes and no. Just by itself, no. You can kind of see here, just in the general ones here, it lightens it up a bit. So, I guess by definition, sure, it's just a little bit lighter. But where it starts to change the color is when you get into something like this. I mean, that's not what a calico looks like. So, when you get it in there, it's a little more rusty. So, paint is incredible, and I recommend that if you're interested in paint, other than the ones you see right here, that you check out Southwest Wisconsin. Man, I am tongue-tied today. Yes, check out Southwest Wisconsin Reptiles. Jim is a great guy, and he works paint, and he's talked about paint for a while and how it's how people have just, I mean, I don't understand why why people are not paying more attention to it. You see the forgotten gene. Well, that was in 2016, and I swear to God, people still don't pay it enough mind. It's, everybody's talking about puzzle now, and that's kind of taken off. And don't get me wrong, I love puzzle. In fact, I went puzzle route, but I almost went this route. I almost went to the paint route. I personally think that they contrast each other very, very, very well, and that's why I kind of compare them to each other, because one is controlled chaos and one is clean. It's different, but they do similar things. They're both crazy. They both chaotically mess up the pattern, but one is clean and one is chaotic, and a controlled chaos, and that's paint. So depending on the route you want to go, that's cool. Paint is really cool. Someday I'd love to do that. So, but yeah, it definitely can influence the color, but just with other genes, not really by itself all that much. So, here we go. So. We were talking about the Suma Pieds earlier, and this Suma Het Pied, which is also possible GHI female, has definitely caught my eye this week. You can kind of see that Suma, similar to Super Black Pastel, creates a very dark snake, but there's a lot of variety in this, because you can see some definite iridescence here, but there's definitely some browns sneaking into this, and other animals will do the same thing. That's why I think maybe that one is GHI. You can see it here. Look at some of the browns coming in there, and I think that's cool. I think that's awesome, because they look almost paradox in a way in some cases. This one's pretty dark, all things considered. I would probably guess that it is GHI. It's actually Het Pied, proven by testing through RGI. So that's nice, because you can start creating Sumas from this. And how you do that is just introduce a mahogany male that's pied. That's the same thing as before. That would go good with the other one we were talking about, which is where the heck was it? There we go. Ending in 2 minutes. if it doesn't get bit up again. So still where the heck were we? There we go. Another great addition to that sort of project. I mean, look at the two there that are available. The idea that you could get these into your collection right now is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. You could, and by the way, GHI is a testable one, so you could send that right back in if you wanted to. Normally, I'd say you can tell GHI just by looking at it, but in this case, with the Dark Snake, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it, because then there's even more combinations, more avenues that you could go with this female right here. She's really, really nice. If you were building a pied project, this is a nice way to go. Both of these females here, this one here and this one here, would be very ideal pickups. Very ideal pickups to do that. So, just in case you don't know, here's a Suma Pied. What did I do? I clicked on something. That's what I did. So, I don't know why it won't let me look at the picture a little bit better, but...
Open image, a new tab.
Thank you. Where did the tab go?
It should be next to it. There you go.
Thank you. I'm a boomer sometimes when it comes to this stuff. Don't blame me. But you can kind of see what I was talking about here. And there's some variety. Some of them are more dark, but I actually like this. You can see it's like wrestling between being black and this really deep mahogany brown. Like a stain on a chestnut wood dresser drawer. It's crazy. It's so crazy. I love this. I absolutely love it. Like I said, it just looks like it's Paradox, but it's not. This is just how cool they are. And you can see that some of them are a little bit more stark black. Just from some of these pictures here. Just like this one here, she kind of wrestles again with it, but it's more black near the front there. This one's from Canova as well, before he rebranded. But I love the Sumapides. I've been eyeing getting into the Sumapides as well for a very long time, and it's just double. It's a super mahogany pied, basically what you're looking at here. So, loving the Calico Gene. Super bright. Yeah, that one did that we showed earlier. Kind of cantaloupe-y. So there actually is a gene called Cantaloupe out there now. It hasn't been released to the overall market, I don't believe yet, but it's very nice as well. Alrighty, this male here could potentially get you into the voodoo gene very quickly. This is a proven breeder, leopard voodoo. No recessives or anything like that in play here. That's the only downside in my opinion. But the voodoo gene is something that's that was founded by Bob Vu from Bob's Balls. It's a granulation gene, very much so, similar to how GHI is, but it's its own little flavor. Because if you put leopard and GHI together, that is not what this creates. This is a really dark animal with a crazy pattern. And to me, it looks like mushroom clouds. That's kind of how I view it. So you can kind of see here just all these nuclear explosions just shooting up. Very cool. Very chaotic pattern. Lots of floating patterns there. I really like what it does. So even if this is not ideal for you, it kind of gives you an idea of what the sort of stuff you could do with an animal like this if you get this into this gene. And again, I kind of mentioned it before, like different genes and what they do. If they are eye-catching and they have maybe a little bit of a different name there, it's a conversation starter. It is a marketing tactic, but it's a very solid one. I mean, people be like, what is voodoo? But they're really interested in the animal because of how cool it looks, and then you have a conversation with them, and that's what breaks down walls. Because if I'm just talking from a monetary point of view here, not from the awesomeness of the snake, but it's an adversarial relationship, a sale between a salesman and a customer. You are on guard when you're buying things because, well, everybody's out to get everyone, right? So you're kind of on guard. So when you have a conversation with someone, that's when people let their guards down, and you can show them that you're all about the animal and whatnot. So hopefully you are anyways. And that you're making really cool things, and that you're just a really cool regular guy too, or girl. So that is it's a really cool gene though, just in and of itself. And even if this is a temporary animal, if you wanted to get this, it's proven already. So you pick this animal up, you breed voodoo into a recessive project, and then once you have your your grow outs and your holdbacks, you can move on from him very quickly and do the same opportunity for someone else. It's pretty cheap right now, so yeah, definitely a cool looking animal just by itself though. So hey there, Salty Cells. We've gone through it quite a bit already. We're about halfway there. Sorry, but there's still a lot of cool stuff to go, including some insane combos that probably 95% of the people watching it won't be able to buy, but we can drool over and maybe make ourselves one day. So we'll get to that one later though. Here we go. This is a pastel banana confusion het sunset, and I talked about what confusion does earlier. I really like the idea of it being in here and with banana. and then also pairing with Sunset, because one of my favorite combinations with Sunset is the banana Sunset, and the fact that you add confusion, which adds all this absolutely insane nutty patterning to it. You look at its head, even it kind of messes with the head a little bit, not too much, but just just a little bit. And anytime you get that sort of stuff, I think it's awesome. So I wanted to show off. Here you go, a banana Sunset, incredibly bright orange animal with such beautiful contrast. Might be vying for one of my favorites. This and the lavender Sunset, at least for sunsets. Sorry, not in general, but like I said, there's not much to even say. It speaks for itself. Probably the orangest ball python that you can get. Stuff like this. So when people sit there and dog on Sunset, I don't understand what they're looking at. I don't work Sunset either, but this is the sort of stuff I've seen. And the first one I ever saw was Leviathan pythons, and that's when I first saw I'm not sure if they were the first to create it, but it's the first one that I personally saw, and I was like, wow, that is wonderful. This one here from Brad Boas, and they know what they're doing when it comes to Sunset. We've featured them on our channel quite a bit. It's a beautiful animal, and remember, this was in 2017. So what else has been done, right? So they might have been the first one. We're gonna call this combo the Sunrise. Yeah, and they were the first one then, if they're calling it, if they're naming it. Great name for it, so absolutely beautiful. Let's see. Caught a live for once. Yeah, welcome, Tori. And then we do, we're trying to do the lives every Tuesday, and we might be doing them on Thursdays every now and again too. Haven't pulled the trigger on that yet, but we might. Right now we film them on Thursdays and upload them on Friday. So did Tyler Nolan's babies all get sold? Figured they wouldn't stay on the Morphmarket for long. Maybe put them up. I honestly didn't hear about anything with that. I'll have to look into something. I'll have to look into that. So they're on Morphmarket. You just obviously jump right over there and take a look here, but I'll make sure I'm not missing anything here. So this one here is Orange Dream Enchi Freeway. So I'll try to take a look to see if they're still on there here in just a second. The babies and whatnot, but I wanted to talk about this one real quick, and that is because it is just bursting with color. It's just absolutely beautiful. Kind of reminds me of this is gonna sound unflattering, but it kind of reminds me of like cheese. I don't know. Doesn't it look like cheese? I think it looks like cheese. But like I don't know, like cheese pizza. That's what I'm thinking. Like it's been like cooked very well. So it's really vibrant, regardless of how you want to say it looks. You've got a mixture of light oranges, dark oranges, medium, just burnt oranges, citrusy type colors, and then this bright neon yellow stripe going down it that is so iconic from the Freeway combo. The only thing that would make this probably better is like having yellow belly in there. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that would make it better, but it's just such bursting with colors, and you can expect that anytime you see CD constrictors selling an animal. All outstanding things. I'm excited to go. Tinley's here in 2 weeks, and we'll be there filming and whatnot. Less than 2 weeks actually, I think. And I'm always very excited when I get to his table. It's incredible stuff for sure. But again, just a nice animal for a Freeway project. If this is something you wanted to do, if you're into the Freeway project, this would be an ideal pickup for that for sure. And I always think that it's really nice that if you get yourself like an asphalt female, that's kind of the way I like to go about it anyways. Because if you just in case you get the super asphalt instead of the Freeways, well, who cares, right? Because those are allelic, by the way. The yellow belly and the asphalt, it's always going to pass one along, and you're never really going to know which one unless you do a genetic test, because they look exactly the same and they're already settled as is. But if you have a asphalt female, or better yet, even a super asphalt female, you're always guaranteed, in that case, for the super, to get super asphalts or Freeways. which would be really cool. These are just great animals. Obviously no recessives at play, and it shows that not everything has to be a recessive game, because these are so cool. These are so cool, and it kind of acts like that anyways, because you have Asphalt and Yellowbelly tag teaming to create this combo as is. So let's see, does a lot for it. I was thinking a nicely cooked grilled cheese. Yep. See? Told you. Cheese. They get me. Yellowbelly is definitely in that freeway. Oh yeah. Did I say not? Oh, it has to be. Yeah. It's part of the freeway combo. So it has to be. You don't get this without that. It is 100%. Yeah. Super lacing that would be hot. Oh yeah, super lacing everything would be hot though. That is just a statement you can use for everything. But yes, lace or super lace. The white lace, 100%. It would clean this up, and just brighten it up even more. So, ironically, this down here, where it's kind of like freckled on its belly and such, it would probably be a lot more clean with something like that, which would be very nice. So. Promised I'd look to see if Tyler Nolan has babies on here. Oh my god, come on, there we go. Tyler Nolan. Let's see if he just named it after his channel. Of course not. Yeah, I don't know what he named it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know who he is, obviously. And normally, I'm always thinking, the venomous sides that he does and whatnot. But I didn't know what else he might have on there. So, non-popular opinion: Spider freeway combos pop. You are not lying in that. Normally I'm not a big fan of Spider, not because of all the stuff that people say about it, but just I think it does a little too much, quite frankly, and it takes away from the pattern. But in certain things, it works very well, and that is one of them. In fact, another one that's really nice is bamboo spiders. I like the way they look too. But obviously everybody's very worried about what the spider gene does, and a lot of people still are misinformed about the neurological side of it, but they have basically all but proven that it's not a neurological thing. It's actually an inner ear deformity. It is a thing still. They're basically dizzy. I don't know, but not all of them. It's kind of a and obviously it's a very controversial thing. I just say to each their own, quite frankly, and but it is definitely an ear thing, for sure. Let's see, when is Tinley? That's next week at this point. Yeah, so it's the 12th
and 13th.
12th and 13th. But if you have a VIP pass, you actually get in around 12 or noon, one of the two. I don't remember for sure. But on Friday as well, the VIP night, which is very, very nice. Honestly, I love going to those because it's a lot more relaxed. VIP is the way to go with that show. Oh, 100%. It is nuts there. It is nuts. We go there and we film, obviously. So yeah, check that out. In what is a couple weeks here, my brother spends a lot of time on those, and and we do these full walkthroughs, and I'm talking like you're there POV. So we walk in, and there you go, 4 hours. Obviously you can kind of skip through it to where you want, and we mark everything. So if you haven't checked out those, we have other ones too from the past. We've done them for what, 3 years now, something like that. I don't know.
In 2022, I think. Something like that.
So yeah, it's really cool though. So Snake Vertigo. Yep, that is 100% what happens with the spiders. That is not at Tinley. Although yeah, that could happen at Tinley too.
Before anyone asks, we will not be live streaming the walkthrough because copyright.
Yes.
The channel will get taken down if we do that.
Yes, you can't do that because people play music. And sometimes, honestly, we just have to put our own music over that. And because of that, you know, otherwise we try to keep it as natural sounding as possible. Just for the sounds of the show. But every so often somebody's, you know, jamming out to some music.
The entire left side of the room.
Yep. The walkthrough video. Thank you. Appreciate it. I you know, those are some of the ones that did some of the best for us. Sometimes people will see just our logo and be like, "Oh, walkthrough guys," and it's like, "Yeah, that's us." We all hit over 20K again. Johnny has to do. Oh.
Yeah, you can find my face on the channel. I haven't exactly done a good job hiding it.
Technically, or you could just come see us at a show.
Yeah, that too.
You know, or just check us out at the. If you see us, if you see me, you might not recognize him. He might be nearby. Sometimes I get lost, and that sounds silly, but I just start talking, and he just keeps going because he's doing the. He's got to go through. You know what I mean? He's got to keep going. He's got to film this stuff. He can't be waiting for me. So yeah. So maybe you'll see him. Maybe you won't if you're there. At some point, yeah, he's got to do a face reveal, though. I don't know. If you watch our Halloween videos, that's one of the closest he came in terms of it. I don't know where, but it is in the channel. You said it. I don't even know where.
It's in one of the walkthroughs.
Okay. There you go. Watch our walkthroughs. All, 20-some hours of them or something. I don't know. It's probably more than that. And then you'll see his face. So, but they came close in one of our Halloween videos. I know the side of it, so. Which we're doing another one of those too. We're talking about it now.
Yep.
We like doing that. We love it. I love Halloween, so. Hey, this is what this is. It's kind of Halloween colors too. Anyways, candy corn. That's what this is. Alright, moving along. Another one from CD Constrictors would be the Super Inchy Leopard Orange Dream Clown. All of those go wonderfully together, no doubt. Again, another one that would have been nice with Yellow Belly. Yeah, kind of works out very well with all this. Obviously, if you had Yellow Belly and Asphalt in there too, you'd even more crazy type pattern. Just look at the head. It's just I love what Inchy clowns do, especially Super Inchy clowns. Just this golden looking animal, and then just these burnt, very burnt like colors. It's like it literally looks just like someone like welded part of the animal. Very cool. Very, very cool. Another one from CD Constrictors there. I don't know, if you're working a clown project and this is the sort of stuff you want to go for, is something with a lot more reduced pattern. This would be a very nice boy to use for that, for sure. Very, very beautiful. So much cool contrast even here. So you have this like golden color that just kind of burns with these nice little. They almost have like a little bit of a reddish hue, but they're so deep. It's hard to say, like dried blood. So not to be too morbid. All right, and guess what? Another one from CD Constrictors. This one I'm actually really excited about, and this would be this Banana Cypress Leopard Het Clown. Such great deep purple mahoganies. Like that is what you have here is purple. It's so cool, and it almost looks like it's almost said hydraulic. What's the word I'm using? Not hydraulic. Shiny. Whatever. Yeah, shiny.
Really?
No. Whatever. I don't know if everybody knows what I'm trying to say. But it's so intense and so much contrast there. And the idea that this is only a het clown is just so crazy to me. Again, being in a female, that's nice for the banana because that means you'll get both boys and girls. The Cypress Leopard, all these are very ideal, nice, awesome, cool combos in clown. Get a spot nose to breed to this. A spot nose clown with some other genes in there. I have a spot nose GHI clown here, and I'd love to create something even more like kind of along the lines of what I just did, but also have Cypress and Leopard along for the ride. We were hoping that she might prove Leopard. I didn't hold much hope, but obviously, anytime somebody tells you it could be, you're just kind of just like, well, all right. But I didn't think my girl was leopard. But this one is. Nice price on this too. No reserve. Very cool animal right here. Super nice. Holographic. That's it. Thank you, Meltdown Morphs. Thank you.
Oh.
What, did I get loud?
Yeah.
I got excited. I'm sorry.
Here's my limiter. It's not set up correctly.
Well, I can break limits. So yeah, very beautiful animal. Yeah, holographic. That's the word. They look like little holographic stickers, kinda. This girl here could do a lot for you, though. If you want to work some of the banana clowns, and if you wanted to check out what you can do, we had our last video last week showed our egg cutting where we did these banana GHI spot nose clowns. They're so nice. Banana clowns are always beautiful. So just imagine this, but with clown now. Just, you can't go wrong. And guess what? Yep, another one. I think this might be the last one from CD Constrictors, but that's because they're so good. And honestly, he doesn't upload too many of these to here. None of them have reserves. So I might be in on some of this stuff because well, he'll be at Tinley. I can just ask him to bring it. They're just so nice. They're so beautiful. This Banana Fire Spot Nose Hurricane here would just do so much work for you. You get yourself again another a male with clown, but then obviously I have a Spot Nose here. I'd probably avoid the pairing from that one, honestly, just because the Super Spot Nose are very cool, but they can create a bit of an inner ear issue as well. And, what are the power balls, right? So I don't know. That's not as big of a deal. Like I said, as most people I think make it out to be in some cases, but I feel like it might dominate. Maybe it's awesome. Honestly, it probably is awesome. Let's not kid ourselves. But just this grill alone is so cool. I'd probably just go that way just because I'd want to add a little bit more to this. And it looks like it's thought it could be Hurricane. Usually that's what it means when somebody puts it in the parentheses, but I think it is. It looks like a Batman already almost. Just yeah. Because if it's a Banana Fire Spot Nose, that is Hurricane. It is Hurricane all day. Yeah, 100%. Because it kind of has almost a Batman-y type look to it. The Spot Noses have the little loops and stuff like that. I mean, I just made one for Cray. So, yeah. Very cool animal here. Probably immediately want to put like leopard back into this animal. Obviously that makes the Scarecrow or the Batman, whatever you want to call it, but they're very cool. There's just so much from this animal that's so good. And honestly, CD Constrictors makes some of the most insane banana clowns out there. Just absolutely gorgeous. So either one of these, if that's the sort of stuff you want to work, would be very ideal. I mean, I can't even decide which one I like more. I really can't. But these definitely are my favorites. So I would like to add a female with something like this in there. Hurricane's a gene I don't have though, so that's what kind of makes me almost like this one. But then you can never have enough cypress and leopard. And I think I like the Hognoses and the holographic looking animal a little more. It's almost like a pinkish, purplish type look to this one though. Either way, you can't go wrong. They're both great. There's so many good auctions right now. There's so many good auctions. I'm very glad I'm doing the live because these I think would be ending too soon for me to be putting into the next video that we do on Thursday, I believe. So, all right, let me look here if there's any questions. Great price at the moment. Yes, price is great. I don't suspect it'll stay there though. It's the only problem, which it deserves to not be more. So, love the banana morph. My favorite colors are orange and purple, so I can't resist. Yes, they're very good. They're very nice. They all work very well, and they work for multiple things too. Because you could say this is Halloween-y type colors. They're but there's other type of things. It's just so much to apply, a palette to for this. It's just so beautiful. Either one, they're so nice. Did I lie? No, I did not lie. I thought maybe it's a CD Constrictor. So our next one is a leopard, possible super leopard though, and it's black pastel yellow belly double het clown pied female. Lots of cool power here. If you get a male you want to get a male that's visual. Honestly, just make it a visual pied clown, because they've come down in price. And if you could do that and create the pied clown, but also hit on, your black pastel, yellow belly, and leopard, you're going to be very, very happy. The only thing I would try to add immediately is something that brings in, if you can, something that adds more pattern, like maybe Enchi or something like that, because black pastel kind of, when I notice when it gets with pied, can take away pattern, and I think that most clown pieds already have
can you
a little pattern.
Open up Spotify and pause it and unpause it.
Okay, yes.
Sounds like a stuttering.
We good? Well, I guess that we wouldn't know yet. Yeah. Right. All right, cool. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, let me get my stuff back here. There. Okay, there we go. Fusion or yellow belly? You telling me which one I like more? Oh, that's tough. I don't know if I can decide. I think puzzle overall, but confusion has more of a use, I think, to be applied to more things. Puzzle, for example, wouldn't work with absolutely everything. Confusion, I have yet to see something that I don't like it in. So, but yeah, this girl here, it would have a lot of use. I suspect that her price will be more reasonable than some of the other ones. Not that the other prices aren't reasonable, by the way. I just mean, cheaper. I feel like this one will end a little bit on the favorable side for the buyer. Maybe not. You never know until you get to the last 5 minutes. You saw how these other ones all kind of climbed up, right? So, got a lot of time left on this one. There's a lot of different directions you could go to. I didn't even think about this. You could do with yellow belly. One thing I thought of is get yourself an asphalt clown boy, and then you could do the highways as well, or freeways. That would be pretty neat. You can do highways too by doing the gravel, but either way is super nice. Just a lot of different potential uses for an animal like this, especially in a female. All right, a pastel stranger leopard clown from Royal Constrictors. Yep, Royal Constrictor Designs. What can you say? Obviously, stranger clowns are very nice. This one will probably go up in price, but it is no reserve. So it's going to end at whatever it ends at. And stranger clowns are so nice. I would like this without pastel, quite frankly. Pastel makes it, brightens it up too much in this combo, and I feel like it just doesn't do it enough favors. And it's not like this one's not good, but I like the stranger clowns just by themselves. I would try to get this into yellow belly immediately, because stranger yellow belly clowns are incredible. And then from there, you could just kind of go from there with a little bit more of the darker side, but kind of play with that palette of what stranger does. Very granulated type, so you can see it like right here along the back for sure. But the pastel is kind of almost bleeding away what stranger's doing to it in this particular combo. But it is for sure there, and you can see it's very nice. What it does basically. So this boy here, if you wanted to work him into certain clown projects, would be able to work both clown and stranger, so you wouldn't have to worry about creating heads. You already got it, right? So now you're just building upon that. You get him, and you get it to visual clown females. Get some cool codominants in there as well, so that you can start creating even more cool things with the stranger clowns. Pinstripe would be very cool with this. I'd like it. And I actually might make pastel better, because lemon blasts are super cool, and they stay super cool. So that would be a nice one. All right, this girl here is kind of is definitely a nice one if you wanted to work a double recessive, if she proved out. So you definitely want to get her and send her in for a shed test. But I don't think that the price will be astronomical, especially with the chance taking there. of 66% het puzzle, your chances are very good. And you send in a shed test, you find that out, and at least it's a girl one way or the other. Being a boy, it'd be a little more heartbreaking not to hit the puzzle, because if you wanted to work the recessive, it kind of just really eliminates their usefulness, right? But in a girl, I'd say it's still useful because you can always still create cool things with them. But she has a very good chance of proving out. And ultramel puzzles are very nice. Let's see if I can get a picture of one up. Tried to prepare as many pictures of my side adventures here as I could before we went into this, but puzzle ultramel. See if it remembers it. Yeah, there we go. Boom. That looks like a cheetah. Probably find a better picture or whatnot, but why is it zooming out? Okay, it's spazzed out big time. It's a little blurry, but you get the picture. Literally, because it's in your face right now. There we go. Very cool what it can do for you. I really like the head. This has got to be a little more than just that. So no, it's hypo too. No wonder. But you kind of get the picture. Let me see if I can't find another one there. There's something here. So here we go. An old one that sold a while back. Yeah, that's sold. And you kind of see the price, I'm sure, is not like that anymore. But yeah, very nice, right? Very, 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 very nice. Again, I'd like to see it. This is why I'm going for the Monarch one, the Monarch puzzle, because I like the color palette a little bit better in terms of what the kind of mahoganies they bring in and stuff like that. I think they age just absolutely incredibly. So I'm going for this right now, and I actually already got eggs somehow. I paired them one time just to see what would, or two times just to see what would happen. Try to get the female to eat. She's 2 years old, but she got to size, and I was like, all right, hey, whatever. I paired her 2 months ago, right? I think, just to see if she would start eating again. And I was just like, I'm gonna put them together this coming season, and then she just laid eggs. So I've got the double heads. So I'm pretty excited for that. But there's nothing wrong with these two. The ultramel puzzles are so awesome. So that's the sort of stuff you could be playing around with when you're creating something like that. So I wanted to show off the Hognoses real quick. We're almost I think we're under our final 6 bowl pythons. So I wanted to go to the Hognoses. We love Hognoses here as well. It'd help if I typed in Morphmarket too, instead of just typing in Hognoses. Alright, here we go. And there is not a whole bunch to go over, just because there's not as many. Anytime you go to ball pythons, there's a lot, right? Anything else, not so much. But there is some cool stuff on here. This Arctic snow looks like it's ending in 10 minutes as is, but very cool. It's like a moonstone kind of. It's Arctic and then albino exanthic, which I'm hoping I have exanthic in my collection. I have a lot of potential hets, right? 66% hets, so I have a good chance of it. But I do have the sunburst floating. Well, the ingredients to create one. I'm hoping I have the ingredients to create this as well. But very cool looking animal. I won't spend a whole bunch of time on there, but I wanted to show you some of the. This is supposedly just the normal. It's incredible looking normal. I feel like it might be extreme red as well, which is a polygenic trait. Just kind of brings in some of these more rusty type colors into it. But it's also 100% het albino. But that wouldn't throw anything off. The coloring shouldn't be any different for that. We'll look at this Super Yeti, which is Super Yeti is just a Super Conda. And then that snow. So a Yeti is just Conda albino exanthic. What Super Conda does is strips the entire body of all of its pattern. So now it's just white there, except for the head, which is this pinkish looking color. Almost like a mask in a way. Very cool. I usually don't like the Superconda, except for when I do. And finally, want to end on this one because you want to talk about like a grayish looking animal. There you go. This is cool. Its head almost looks like a rattlesnake there too. I really like that. So I'm not here so much. This shows its derpiness. And this would be a Superconda. Again, she creates this nice moon-looking body, this grayish
Zoom in.
moon-looking body. There we go. Sorry. That's the female that it's breeding to, by the way. They're very much more small. But the I just can't get over how cool looking this animal is. So they would look like rattlesnakes if not for this goofy shovel nose. It's also a hit toppy belly, so reserve price on this one though. So very, very neat. All right. So we'll go ahead and get right back into the ball pythons, and this is we talked about it earlier, the super scaleless. Looks like it's in shed too, ironically. Unfortunately he's in shed in these pictures, but he's incredible. Yeah. And this is the sort of thing, it's ironic that he's in shed. So it kind of shows you like this is a cinnamon fire, and if you look up a cinnamon fire, they don't look nothing like this. Nothing. You'd think that it should just look like a cinnamon fire, but without scales, right? But that's not the case. It changes everything. It's like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. It's crazy. It's just too bad that most people probably should not have a super scaleless. And I say that with all seriousness. In fact, I'd say that with the spiders and stuff like that, people should be more worried about these, and I'm not saying that these are not, that you shouldn't work them, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't buy them at all. In fact, I think that people should make these, quite frankly, but they should make them not so many because most people probably shouldn't have them, because most people buy this and say, cool, I know how to take care of a ball python, it can't be that hard, right? Oh, what, they just need a little more humidity? No, they are different. So I always recommend people do a lot of research and go into this like it's not a ball python. It's more than a ball python, but they are cool. And if you ever get the opportunity to hold one, do it 100%. Do it, because they are weird. Most people say like holding a snake for the first time is a different experience and it's incredible. Well, times that by 1 billion, because this is weird. They are really cool, but again, I want to say it one more time. Don't get it on a whim, please, because you're not doing yourself any favors, you're not doing any animal any favors. Do your research and determine what it is, because you need to pay extra special attention when they're in shed, just like this little one here's right here, because bad sheds are not good for these at all. Yeah, so like I said, they just have different care requirements, and they require a little bit more, they just require more care. The husbandry is just going to be different, and quite frankly, I don't know what that is myself. I don't know everything. I just know they need more humidity, so I'm not the expert to ask on that. But they are cool. So when we're just looking at eye candy, it's awesome. All right, here we go. The next ones are they're pretty intense, and we're just going to be looking at. Yep, we have a Pompeii available on auction this week. Absolutely incredible. This is what a lot of people want to create. They want to create the Pompeii. I'm one of them people. I'm 100% one of them people. I think that some other things can be done if possible, but there's always going to be a love for this sort of animal. It's so cool. It's so absolutely incredible. So we sit there and talk about, oh, you can make a Pompeii. You can make a Pompeii. Well, you can buy one if you've got $4,500. Yeah, and I'm telling you, they usually sell for a lot more. So for a bidding price, this would be a very nice one to do. Again, most people are not going to just have a little under $5,000 just to throw at it. But I honestly suspect, I wouldn't be surprised if this sells. In fact, I'd be surprised, quite frankly, if it didn't. because if you buy one, which people do buy them, they're going to be a little more. So, and then speaking of that, what if I told you it wasn't the only one? You got a Coral Glow Pompeii as well, and Coral Glow is the same thing as banana. So instead of the deeper reds, you kind of bring in this in, and they age a lot better too, because instead of the two-tone yellows, you kind of have the Pompeii pattern kind of just creeping in with every shed. Very, very cool. But I can't lie, just in terms of what pictures we have here, I prefer this one. Even though I can't believe I'm saying this, there's one right now that I prefer without banana. It's not like this isn't beautiful, it's gorgeous, but just in terms of what we're seeing right now, I like this one a little more, just a little more. But they're very, very cool. Both females too, right? Yeah. Yep. Just a lot of when you get the idea that you can just get straight to Pompeii and realize that now I've reached that plateau. This is what it's always is in ball pythons. You try to chase these genes, and then when you get there, you're like, well, what next? So let's just say you start with what's next, and you're there. Well, what next from here? There's a lot of different things. Immediately, I say start from scratch and try to add another recessive into this. I personally have dreamed about the monarch Pompeii for a while. And what that would do, I think it would be spectacular. I think it might be the best snake ever created. Maybe I'm biased, but I think it would be the best snake ever created. Now, will that ever get done? Actually, I think, yeah, it will, but I think it'll be a long time. But I immediately start thinking of other things too. There's been ones that people have taken this Pompeii and done other things with. JSA had created the special Pompeii, and to date, that's probably my favorite one. Absolutely gorgeous. Outside of like the original beautiful one, the special Pompeii was really, really nice. But yeah, there's 2 Pompeiis available on auction right now if you've got about $5,000. And then staying kind of with the Pompeii would be this red stripe, yellow belly spot nose clown. The only thing we are missing is black pastel. That would have made the Pompeii right there. But kind of here, when you're trying to go for that sort of route, why they're so beautiful. Even if you don't hit that, this is beautiful, and just by itself. It already has this beautiful red barbed, or not red, but this dark black and orange barbed wire just zipping down the back, and in between this nice yellow to contrast it, and I love how thick the black is around this, how deep it is in between this like rusty type looking color. Wish there was a different shot to show kind of the head and whatnot, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And then we're talking some crazy combos right now. Well, there's even a monsoon. Now this one does have a reserve. Monsoons go for about $8,000 right now, maybe still 10,000. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while, quite frankly, but they're probably one of the most intense in terms of what a pattern does. Just blows it up and creates these little like raindrops in a way, which is where I believe they get their name from. Just absolutely incredible. I don't know if this one will sell it, because it really just depends on the reserve price. As you can see, there's 2 bids on it. You know what? Let's throw a bid on there, right? I mean, the monsoon, right? I mean, I'm not winning this. If the reserve price goes away here, I'm paying it, of course, right? 250. Here we go. I'm the leading bidder on this monsoon that I'll be outbid on for sure. But in a way though, what I just did is kind of a tactic I use quite often. Is I'll actually bid it up by $5, fully expecting to be outbid, because now it reminds me an hour before it is about to end, and it lets me look at it and determine if I still want to bid on it. So very cool. Like I said, I don't know if this auction will go, because I don't know what the reserve price is, and knowing the price of monsoons, who really knows, right? But I figured I'd show it off regardless. It's also 50% hit hypo. If you were to win this snake and you did not send in a hypo gene, I would question you greatly. Because obviously that would be even more intense if you could start creating monsoon hypos. So you definitely, if you were to win this, you send in a shed test RGI. Like I said, these last ones here have been absolute bangers. Spot Nose Leopard Desert Ghost Clown. Probably he's starting at what the reserve price would be, which is a nice way to do it too. Some people don't do the reserve price, and instead they're just like, well, I'm just going to start the bid where I'm comfortable letting it go, which is kind of cool. Because if somebody wants this boy here, they know exactly what it is. So now the downside to that is obviously that there's not going to be much of a bidding right off the bat. But I mean, who really cares, right? If you get your sale, just what Desert Ghost and Clown do is just super nice, though. Especially with the Spot Nose Leopard. So this is a Batman, by the way. Spot Nose Leopard Clown is a Batman. So this is a Desert Ghost Batman. Very cool, very nice. What it's doing here, it's very nice, busy one too. Nice busy pattern. Sometimes the Batmans just have some dots going along the back sides and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, those are nice too. I have one here. It's pretty dang powerful. It's very similar with these bigger little dots and whatnot. And you start to get busy in certain parts, but this one's very busy all over. Quite frankly, even when you get to the back, still kind of tapers off eventually, but. They're just so clean, so beautiful, and if that's the sort of project you wanted to work, this male here would set you up for a very long time. If you were working the Desert Ghost Clowns, you breed that into some hets and whatnot, you can start mixing some genes together for a little bit cheaper. He'd be a very good male, a very good powerhouse. If that's the sort of project you were wanting to work, he'd be a perfect male for that. Alright, we'll go ahead and finish here on the last one, which would be this Banana Chocolate Het Desert Ghost. Kind of shows it off right there. Too bad it's not Clown, right? You put that there and you get the Clown version. So I really like what the Banana Chocolates in general.
Zoom in.
What?
Zoom in.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Just take pictures of it. Hang on, there's a better one in here, I think. Let me find it here. There's probably that one there. So kind of it's weird because chocolate's mostly a darker gene, but I feel like it kind of hypos it up here. It kind of adds like a diet hypo to it. It's very interesting. You kind of have a more it's the pattern in terms of like the lavender is I'd say maybe a little darker, a little more rich, but not as much as you think. It almost looks like hypo, honestly. Whereas the oranges and the yellows kind of like they're very light, very defined, as opposed to, well, I mean, other than the head here, you kind of have that little orange X marks the spot kind of. That is very interesting. But get down here a second. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. But just a lot of cool potential, because again, this is just a het. So if you hit the visual Desert Ghost, it's gonna clean it up and make those lavenders pop. It's gonna make those yellows pop. So you're gonna have a yellow and lavender snake, and it's not gonna look. It's gonna look bold. That's what I like about Desert Ghost, is it emboldens everything. It's very, very nice. Yeah, I can't get over this little X. This faded X marks the spot on the head. It is. And that's got to be some sort of like just very faint paradoxing, I would imagine. Very cool. No bids on this right now, and no reserve. I think this is very well worth it. The Banana Chocolate Het Desert Ghost. The only thing that would make this a no-brainer for me would be if it had Clown in it, for sure. But incredibly gorgeous as is. So, but that'll do it for today. There was a lot of heavy hitting stuff on this one. I think we're going for quite some time. This might be the longest one we've done.
Yeah, it is.
There we go. Yeah, new record. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed. I don't know if anybody had any more questions or anything like that. So if you have any more questions, go ahead and ask them now. But yeah, look for our Tinley video here in a couple weeks. We spend a lot of time on those, and it's really just so that you can see the show. We live pretty close to Tinley, and to Schaumburg. That's just kind of the area we're in and whatnot. Those are some of the better shows out there. Tinley, I like to call the Super Bowl of reptile shows, the WrestleMania of reptile shows, so to speak. It's like the king. It's so fun. It's so awesome. There's so much to see there. It's intense. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it if you're in the area. If you're not, that's why we like to put these videos out, so that you can go. You can go and you can see the vendors, and we try to mark every vendor on our list. We go through and we make tags so that you can see who they are, that you're looking at that very moment, and you can look them up if you're interested in anything. And it's not just bull pythons there, by the way. Yes, there's a lot of bull pythons, but we show everything at the show. It is in the most detail you're gonna get right now from this. Like I said, it is a 4 hour or so, like 3 to 4 hour walkthrough of each table, and it's quick. Don't get me wrong. They are semi quick. We do take detail on things we think are crazy, but we are going through. Remember, there's so much to see. The fact that we can fit this in 4 hours is just nuts. So there is something else we do as well, though. We do a compilation of shots, an uncut, so to speak, is what we call it. And that one will come out usually shortly after the walkthrough. And that one will show more detailed up-close shots. So if that's more your fancy, we'll have that too. And that'll be more, like thumbnail quality type things. So yeah, look forward to that. And then also our Halloween episode. We love doing those. If you haven't checked those out, we kind of have a theme going right now. Our first one was claimed by BBC, which was a shame. Because we dared give them credit for something. And it was about fear of snakes. And then our next one was it was kind of about like crazy off the wall snakes, unique animals and whatnot. So and then you'll just have to wait and see what the next one's about, because yeah. So yep, thanks everybody for joining. Again, I always appreciate the turnout and the questions and everything like that too. It seems like the chat was really active today. Hopefully I got everything. If I didn't, I apologize if I missed something that you asked. This chat was actually was awesome. There was a lot of different there's a lot of questions. Very active chat this time. So I like it. I love it. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for coming by.
There's one more thing I want to test.
Why? What did you do?
So now it works.
I can't with you. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining. Oh, and thanks, Andy, for subscribing.
No, that's a fake person. Chris Cherry did subscribe, though. Thank you, Chris Cherry.
Thank you, Chris Cherry. We very much appreciate it. Now, for real, thank you for joining. Goodbye. See you in the next one.